So I'm just about done mowing my trial field where I used to hold dog trials on sheep. We got some moisture last week or this week, and I think I have a shot at getting another round or two out of this field, but for sure I needed to top it to make it work. I'm gonna be weaning my lambs in about a week to 10 days, and this will be perfect in that time. I need a couple inches of growth above the litter, and that seems to be the optimal stage that they will eat this fescue. I'll show you here. Once it gets over that, Emma, stop. Once it gets over that, it gets that brown tinge on the ends, and then it goes to seed, and it's just not as palatable. They'd rather chew on something much shorter and basically nuke a bunch of short spots like right down there. This is a 2-acre field. I did it over probably 3 days, just when it was cool out. And I'm looking forward to seeing how it bounces back after this rain. And we're supposed to get a little bit more rain tomorrow, so hopefully we get at least a 1/4 inch, because that would really make a difference. So this really green patch over here is the first piece that I mowed, and I've been back on it I think twice since I mowed it, and it's really putting out much more. The problem that I was having before is that the litter was so tall that the grass had to get pretty mature to get over the height of the litter, and then it was so tall that they didn't want to eat it. So this next piece is where that I mowed second, and it's really come on too. There's just definitely a difference in the amount of what's available above the litter. The nice thing is the litter is holding the moisture, and so that's growing much better. You can see up here where there was some bald spots that I threw hay onto, and I'd love to do that in a bunch of different places, but it's just not going to happen. This year will be tough for hay because we got the rain so late that it's probably not going to, nothing's going to get tall anyway. And I have my fingers crossed that we can actually buy some locally that will make enough to make it work. Anyway, that's where I'm at today. I will start expecting these ewes to eat some stuff that they don't like, because I'm going to start expecting them to dry up soon. So I want them on less quality forage, and if I make them eat stuff that they don't like, they're likely to cut back a little bit, and therefore they will be starting to dry off sooner. And in probably 4 or 5 days, I'm going to lock them up and put them on dry grass, hay, and at least 4 days before I wean the lambs off. And hopefully that will force the lambs to go onto the creep a bit better, and also to hit the alfalfa hay that I have. So I've been thinking about doing this for the last week or so. I've had these dogs in to breed, and they belong to friends of mine, and I did train them, both of them over 1.5 years ago. So they're established dogs. We know that they're very good at what they do, and therefore they're worth breeding. This is Emma, and this is Pongo. I just wanted to say some things because people tend to either buy too much of a high-powered dog, or they go the very cheap route and get whatever bred the neighbor's dog that doesn't even work that well, but they think they're going to get a miracle out of it. My rant is buy a dog that suits your needs, okay? These dogs both know how to shut off at night. They know how to not work for a few days, and therefore they will make very good family dogs, but also have the instincts to work. And that's what I need. I don't need an all-day dog, so I don't need a super high-powered, high-energy dog. But I really don't want to have something that has no instinct either. Not having instinct is just, you can't train a dog like that. And anyway, he's dinking around here because he's been locked up for a while. They're pretty much done breeding, and I needed to get him out and exercise him. Get something that suits your needs. Don't just take something that the neighbor had a litter and they have no idea what the sire was, and or it's their favorite female but she doesn't work worth a crap. You're hoping for some miracle to come through. Now that could happen, but it's not very likely. I am just saying this is the reason why I quit training outside dogs, is because people were buying or were given crap dogs with no instinct, and they expected a miracle. So they were not willing to invest in a nice dog. They were wanting to put all their money into training, and you have to have instinct to make all this work. But on the other end, if you buy a high-powered dog, spend a ton of money on it, they'll just drive you crazy if you don't have the work for them. Now, if you're moving cows all day long or sheep and you have a job for them, absolutely buy a high-powered dog. But most people in this day and age do not need a dog that's high-powered. The best thing you can do is find dogs that you like how they work, that their energy level suits your work level, that you can get some help training them. Honestly, if you don't know how to run a dog or you don't train your dog, you really don't have anything as far as I'm concerned. Now, they can just miraculously, especially a border collie, figure out what you want, but it's not a good way to go about it, because once you've let them get away with bad habits, it's pretty hard to untrain that because they're too stinking smart. You can get an Australian Shepherd and they'll be a little bit more laid back, but I would say that the chances of them being obedient are much less. Hopefully I don't get a bunch of hate off of that, but I'm kind of a border collie snob because they're so much easier to train. They're not trying to kill your livestock. They're where you want them to be most of the time. And Aussies just are bullheaded. That's all there is to it. Anyway, that's my rant for today.